Hello to the audience. On the new radio station. We bring it to you today. It's a fascinating story. Titled Her Secret Assistant. I invite you to listen. I look at the clock at 8 p.m. She took a deep breath and cleaned up the mess on the table. You just finished today's work and prepare to go home. The phone vibrates is the message of the stick, which sends the address of the play area. I was in a hurry for a business trip at night. 2 husband and a child. Living in the city is not easy. Happy to be a marketing director of a brand of mom and baby supplies. You often have to increase the CA to handle the work. Something that the company brand never encourages. For mothers with small children. But actually, yourself, who's going through those situations. Your husband is the deputy director, a large construction company in the city. Occasional business trips. They usually only work during office hours. I also have a good time after work. I'm usually the one who picks you up for school. Take care of your food. Sometimes I can only see you sleeping at night. I also want to spend more time with you. But there's a lot of competition in the company. You dare not neglect your work. Work makes you tired. It also makes you strong. And income is the foundation, which I think is the most solid for you. The couple decided not to hire a maid. I want to teach and share the housework. Despite the family bond. But this decision, sometimes happiness and husband. No time to breathe. She replied to her husband's message, and I didn't forget to tell you to be careful. Then go and pick me up. There's no grandparents, no helpers. Send them to the play area. Someone who looks right is the right choice. Happy to put on the blazer. It was a bit cold and suddenly she stopped and took a breath. Well, autumn is coming. Stop the car in front of the children's playground. Play area located on the premises of a 5-SAO hotel on the busy road leading to the airport. You've been there many times, but you've never been there. It was my husband who brought me here. You get out of the car and walk down the road that leads into the hotel lobby. Luxury, but the playground is designed very naturally. She walked past the wind chimes. I couldn't find myself but held my hand up. They make a clear jingle sound. It's like going back to childhood. For a moment she felt like a child. Time goes by so slowly. And a soft smile on the corner of her lips. She pushed the door into the play area. And look around for your daughter. You're a kid who doesn't like to run. I'm probably in the reading area right now. Or coloring. Let's go to the bookshelf. My daughter saw me coming. Put your little finger to mark the book. And hugged my mother's neck. My mom didn't come to pick me up. My mom went on a business trip and she picked me up. Speak in a sweet voice to comfort you. Suddenly a voice interrupted. You are late, thanks. A young man came over, in a white polo shirt, waving hello me. You also waved hello and laughed. It makes happiness strange, but she also spoke quickly. I raised my CA a little late today. This guy is handsome, Mom. Mimi is excited to introduce you. Happy to laugh. I thought this was a funny situation. Until the boy said, I see a lot of parents who are really careless now. The kid in the play area is busy. Let the kids play alone until now. I have been in this position for 5 years. The days you get home early are numbered on your fingers. It's in the house. Taking care of the children is almost always the responsibility of the husband, and she'd never thought about how Mimi would feel. She looked at the time on the clock and it was 9:20 p.m. But why do you listen to this complaint? From a stranger like this? Something is wrong. Hey, man, are you a little too much? I remember the playground closed at 10 p.m. I also paid the babysitting fee. She looked back at the boy. Dress neatly packaged. My young face is probably only 2. At 5 years old, I don't have a stable job. Still working at the children's playground. But also loudly blame customers. I think you should do your duty as an employee. You don't have to judge your customers that way. The boy laughed for an hour. I want to talk to you. Sit down and talk to Mimi. Is Mimi guilty? It's closing time, but you're all back with your parents. Come play with me next time. Happiness is once again unbearable. There are no children around. They were all picked up by their parents. Or go eat something delicious. Or go for an evening walk. Or in my parents' arms. And listen to stories. Shame. She suddenly became confused and asked her daughter. Did Mimi like this book? She bought it for me. Mimi nodded gently. Pay me for this book. She said without looking at the boy with confidence. I gave this book to my daughter very well. Happiness is more confused. Withdraw banknotes from Ra's wallet. Put her on the table and take her away. Boy looks at Theo, 2 mom and son, then look at the money on the table. Sigh for an hour and go to the cashier. Put me in the car and fasten my seatbelt. Who was you just now? You're handsome and you play with me at the playground. Do you have any food or drink? I've told you so many times, don't eat people's food. No yet. Mimi suddenly took out a lollipop in her pocket. Innocently replied. I saved it for you. I won't eat it. Glad to see the lollipop in your little hand. Suddenly my heart sank. You suddenly feel guilty. I haven't really cared and understood you for a long time. She rubbed your head and got in the car to take you home. Thursday is the day your husband comes home from work. Walk into the house. Still littered with furniture. And I'm busy preparing dinner for my daughter. I can see that happiness suddenly becomes weaker. I told you I was coming back on Wednesday and I just came back today. I don't even have enough time. Yes, I know, let me do it. He packed his bags and put his hands in the kitchen. Your happiness stops suddenly in front of your devotion. But about 3 seconds later, you decided to be a little more angry. I only slept for 3 hours last night. My eyes are still dark. I have to ask Tweed to take my son to school. My husband is always in the kitchen, but he still speaks softly. Then I know. I bought you a present. I have my gift on the table. Welcome to the living room. His face was cold but left. Your heart is hard to describe. Never once did your husband come home from work without a present for you. She opened the gift box. On the table is a luxury necklace. With exquisite diamond face. If you remember correctly, this is a very hot new product of this brand. Can only be purchased at Singapore, where her husband just returned from a business trip. Look at the necklace on your hand. And look at the man cooking in the kitchen. Happiness is filled in your heart. Sometimes you are skeptical. I don't know if this family is real or not. And really, does such a good man exist or not? The next morning I woke up in bed. And I heard my husband's voice outside the living room. The sun shone against the bedroom window. You are still immersed in happiness. About my little family. At the age of 30. What you are. Though not too much. but it's also seen as a role model for many of you. Friends, colleagues, you're stretching your shoulders and getting up. Then the phone reports the message. Schedule notification coming from Twee. Today, you have an important meeting with a foreign partner. So you need to be a little bit more prepared. She put on her elegant dress. Put on the jacket. The body is more prominent. To the office in response to everyone's greetings. You also have a bright smile. Her 2-year-old assistant also found it strange. Your mental state is much better than it was yesterday. 2 hours passed. The meeting with the foreign partners is over. Thanks to the plan, the project as well as the presentation ability of the partner agreed to sign a contract with the company. And accordingly, the marketing department's bonus. It's not small. It's a lucky day. I feel like my energy is high right now. The feeling of joy and happiness filling my mind. Customers are also very happy. Before leaving, the partner also praised Twee's social assistant for her behavior. Because she has good taste. He also wears a diamond bite rope. Very chic and trendy. People also have the opportunity to admire. I admire Twee's hand necklace. A few other employees whispered. Twee spoke up. You're welcome. This hand is a gift from you. I bought it in Singapore, so I wear it to work. I can't believe I was lucky to wear it today. Close more contracts. Sister, what friends gave you? That's pretty expensive, isn't it? She is 2 years old but not married. Thanks to regular practice and fashionable dress. You are still young and charming. The right image of a woman. Strong career building. You wave your hand and it's not. But the other employees are still talking. But I'm glad to see that this line is a bit familiar to the eye. It's a diamond like a chain. Yesterday her husband gave her a necklace. A shake of hands. It's in a new collection I bought in Singapore. A fleeting thought in the mind of happiness. But she quickly extinguished it. This is just a coincidence. How can it happen? In the evening, the light is still on in the office. Even though the staff is gone. Ms. Twee pushed the door in. Give me a copy of the document for you to finish the job. He told her to sit on the sofa. Wait a minute to see the document. At the same time, the door opened. Before the surprise of happiness, in his hand, he carried the food at the restaurant. She loves. Happy birthday, beautiful smile on your lips. She watched her husband's every move. Like this, not even people. The happiest woman in the world. A very large and beautiful sashimi plate on the table. Start tidying up around and getting the dinnerware ready. I'll buy you 2 portions of rice for dinner. He said, put the second set of food in front of you. Twee just smiled and nodded at the bar. I am also familiar with 2 happy couples. Because SAO is also a very good assistant. Even outside of work. Sometimes I take care of Mimi. She also sees you as her sister. Arrange the door push bar. She looked at Theo and waved at him. It's different from the usual cold. There was a very different smile on her lips. 2 hungry sisters, Meow can't hold it. She glittered at the fresh sashimi plate in front of her. This is my favorite sashimi bar. Do you eat well? It's delicious and fresh. At the end of the project, I invited you to eat out. Been working so hard these days. My favorite food is this. Glad to have said it all. Move the chopsticks towards the last piece of sashimi on the plate. Just touch Twee's wand. I like it too. Surprisingly, you look up at Twee. Intend to let go of the sashimi. His eyes were steady and he laughed. So you eat. I eat too, and I take my mother too. The 2 spouses are so happy. Twee exclaimed but did not understand why it was strange. She looked at the last piece of sashimi and glided on the face of happiness. Suddenly, she found this familiar assistant so strange. It's like there's a corner of you that you never knew. The next day I was ready to go to the airport. You're on a business trip to your partner's company to better understand the product. The bar that opens the door of the room leads Mimi's daughter, dressed up to go to kindergarten. My hands raised. Goodbye. To my mother, I also want you to be careful. That's when Kia came back in the evening. Yes, your parents are good at home. She laughed and watched her father and son take each other to school. She packed her clothes for the trip. Saw the necklace her husband gave her. She put it on her neck and looked at herself in the mirror. The necklace is fragile but shiny. The diamond. The more exalted the white skin, and her elegant temperament. Something new is sure to bring you luck. On this business trip, I didn't forget to ask her to do the job. And sometimes I'd pick Mimi up from school. If your husband is busy, every time you go on a business trip, you are very safe. Don't worry. Many people in the department are jealous of you. Because my husband is safe, but still young and free as an unmarried girl. A visit to the partner company of successful conduct. Nice. Thanks to the ability and intense focus for the job. She finished her business trip one day early. The director invited her to stay, have dinner with company leaders. But he refused to leave early. The plane landed at 3:50 p.m. She pulled VA away from excitement. I can drive to pick you up today. Just in time to put it away and start the delivery car in the airport parking lot. Didn't forget to take out a cute pink cotton rabbit. A gift for Mimi. At 4 o'clock the 5 virtues were in front of my nursery. When did the kids get out of school? Some parents came to pick me up. Mimi's teacher was a little surprised to pick her up. Maybe because I've never seen you. Mimi's father came to pick me up early today, sister. I come to pick you up every day on time. In happiness, suddenly feel guilty for me. Just a normal thing like being picked up by mom. It also became a luxury for her daughter. But you also feel lucky. Your husband always takes on more of your role. That girls are not so lacking in love. This makes you feel somewhat comforted. Parking in the parking lot of the apartment. To pull VA Lee and hold the cotton bunny in his hands. Step into the elevator. The elevator is slowly going up. The sensation of tinnitus when moving to the 21st floor. I am used to it, but still not comfortable. The elevator door opened. She walked slowly towards her house. At the end of the hallway, she reached out to enter the password into the house. Then suddenly there's an idea. Or maybe surprise her. Good. You press the button to turn off the alarm and open the door. Then slowly move in. Don't forget to remove your shoes. And walked softly to her room. She hid on one side and dropped the bunny. Dummy bunny cotton hello me. You an hour, but I found no AI in the room. The blanket was neat, and she didn't seem to have entered the room. Well, it's probably in the master bedroom. I made you paint with it. Happy to hold the door handle, open the door of the room and speak like. Mimi the rabbit is here. She startled the rabbit on the falling hand. The pearl necklace on her neck broke off every grain. Every grain that fell on the plastered wood floor. In bed her husband shirtless. Messy hair. Panic covers up a shame with a blanket. My hair is messy and I wear nothing. The feeling of ringing in the elevator came back. The buzzing sound is so piercing. You got out of the elevator. Or is this the feeling of tinnitus on a plane? Looks like you're still on the plane. She vaguely found herself stumbling down the aisle. I feel like I'm drunk in the middle of the plane. Suddenly the plane shook violently. It seems to have entered a large storm zone. It doesn't stop shaking. You're also shaking things up. It's chaotic. Around the other passengers screaming and thinking. You want to explode because of the sound. That sound, the howl from the warning speaker. Things are getting more out of control. The plane fluttered. Sound, pieces of metal weighing tons of VA smashing together. Like a piece of paper, under 1,000 kilometers of wind. Solid fuselage. But everything has its limits. Boom. The moment the plane exploded. In the blue sky. The eyes of happiness suddenly became clear. She saw the blue sky and the wind shrinking. Into the bedroom window with the curtains fluttering. It gets smaller and she falls down. The buzzing sounds also disappeared. You're not on the plane. You're in the bedroom. You two are messing around in your bed. Hands out to help you up. But she quickly turned her back. Her legs trembled. 7. She clings to the dressing table to stand up. Where is your voice? Slowly I hear you. I asked where Mimi was. Happy to shout for an hour, but you feel it too. Mimi's in the play area. She slapped this man in the face. You don't want to hear a word. From this deceitful man too. Want to explain, when everything is clear in front of you. It's ridiculous. She rushed into the living room. Hustle your car keys and handbag into the hallway. Leave the husband's voice behind. I only think about Mimi now. The car is flying on the road. Her tears fell on her pretty face. Who also thinks, the face of a happy person in a marriage. Go ahead without thinking about anything. Just accelerate and brake. You don't know what to do. The car stopped in front of the playground. You came to pick me up once. She took a deep breath. Dry your tears so you can't see. Step out of the car and run into the rising wind. The wind chimes in the aisle are still ringing. Even if you don't touch it. She walked around the bookstores. I can't see your shadow in the play area. In my heart is not safe. Now Mimi was the only hope she could hold on to. I only sent you here, but you can't see me. Please give me the name and the person who sent it. My father sent me the bar. I'm waiting for you. My sister has just been out for 10 minutes. I don't have an AI named Hi. What kind of business is it with you? Why let people who don't know you lead? The ocean is also in this area. My baby also said that we know Uncle Hi, so we are new. Hands on the table made the receptionist panic. She ran quickly out to find me. When I came to the door, I met I'm going home for ice cream. The one holding her hand is the boy. Last time I spoke to you when you came to pick me up. My son is with someone. My mother ran away to hug her mother but was scolded by her mother. How many times have I told you? Why do you go out with strangers? I didn't listen to my mother. Your eyes are twinkling. The ice cream cone melted slimy on her hand. Happy bracing. The ice cream thrown aside made her cry. You scolded me too much. Why throw away Mimi's ice cream? Who are you? AI, let's take my child out of the play area. Without parental permission. The smiling boy replied in a sarcastic voice. I didn't say much the other day. Parents don't care anymore. Just think you're done throwing them in the playground. How you eat, how you play, no matter what. Don't be excessive. We're too busy to send you. I also paid enough for babysitting. Where is the type of service payment? And then judge the customer. That's your problem. I think giving you money is enough. But a child doesn't just need money to grow up. Is raising a child like that any different than raising a pet? You're funny too. You took my baby without my permission. I'm not sorry, but I teach there. It's like having a baby.
Yeah.
I don't have kids. My childhood was also lacking. I lost my father's interest. I also understand my mood. Do you understand your child? This is my baby. Don't talk too much. I could accuse you of kidnapping my daughter. The boy calmly ate the ice cream on his hand. To go through virtue and drop a sentence into nothingness. Your husband asked us to feed her dinner. I don't know if you'll ever have dinner with her again. He said you never fed him fried chicken. Happy frown, but I didn't want to pick up the young man. She softly told my son. I'm sorry, but don't go with strangers next time. Listen, Mimi nods, her eyes are still red. Mom, don't scold Uncle Hai. Uncle Hai gave me fried chicken. Uncle Hai, it's good to eat fried chicken. Yes, it's good, I don't scold anymore. Mom, Dad didn't come to pick me up. Mom, take me home with you. She was confused and didn't know what to say. I'm busy today. My mother took me to buy a teddy bear and sleep at the hotel. 5 years later, buy me a bear. She walked into the hotel reception. Take a room on the 20th floor. Happy and Mimi returned to the hotel, after going to the mall. And Mimi chose to give me a big teddy bear. She hugged and cuddled the bear all day long. The two of us went to the room. A soothing fragrance land radiates. It makes the spirit more comfortable. She's been playing all day. She's tired. Quickly fall asleep. Sitting by the bed comforting me. Rubbing the little head. Stroking my silk hair that tears unconsciously fell down. Should have been out. She should be in a warm room at home by now. Sleeping with the familiar teddy bears and the bunny you brought back from your business trip. You don't understand why. Make yourself. You have to run away from your own house. While doing nothing wrong. She pulled out the blanket. Let me look at the phone screen. More than 30 missed calls from her husband. And messages asking Han about her situation. And yours, that 7 echoes rising. You don't know how to face the bar. You are a good husband and father. Throughout the years. You trust me absolutely. And there are times when you feel sorry for me. For letting me carry it alone and Twee too. This is what makes you the most incredible. You don't know when it started. I don't know why. I don't know who's wrong after all. In this story, your husband is Twee. Or yourself. You were so proud of your family that you didn't care. I thought it would always be so good. Your thoughts are taking over your mind. She went to the bathroom to wash her face. Look at yourself in the mirror. Suddenly realized. I have to go to work tomorrow. But the suitcase was left at home. Really, I don't want to go back to that house anymore. Carefully close the door. Hold my wallet. Go buy some clothes for tomorrow morning. You just walked out of the hotel. He touched the eyes of the bar. Are waiting. She paused for a second and pretended she didn't see anything. Go around in a different direction. The bar ran to pull her hand. She firmly reached out and said, I don't want to see you. I'm sorry to hear you explain. Explain what you want to explain. When even. I asked the play area to feed me dinner just to not have to see me. You don't have to talk much. Go home. I don't need your explanation, and neither do I. I am glad you are my father. No matter what, you have to let me see you. I want to see you. I think I'm worth it. Suddenly clasped his hands close to his voice. Is it worth it? Try to think about yourself. I've never been a true mother. You leave. I've never asked him if he wants to be with AI. You've been thinking about divorce, right? The two men were so loud in front of the hotel. Remote running protection, and at the same time, there's a solid arm. Take the bar out of happiness. If something doesn't work out, go to the police station. This is our hotel. We are married. Loud bar. But it seems to me, she doesn't want to talk to you. She's a guest at the hotel. So if you continue, we'll call the police. The angry bar left. Don't forget to look straight into the eyes. Don't lose face anymore. When the shadow of the bar's back is gone, your tears are falling. A voice echoing through. Do you have saw? Try to hold back tears so as not to show weakness. It's none of your business. Although his voice was still sobbing, the boy continued. Are you having an affair? Sentence. Like a knife through the heart of happiness. You don't think. There's another person who bluntly says that phrase. Even though I know you are sad. She stared at this strange guy. With an acquaintance. The next knife is deeper than the last. Your heart is strangled. So I guess I'm right. I know you're sad. But compared to keeping this story private, it seems like it's okay to talk to a stranger like me. I'm not sure what this guy said. Just feel his words. It's like a kind of hypnosis, and your mind is really in need of clearing. With a stranger like this. No matter what, tomorrow, maybe we'll see each other again someday. On the 5th floor of the hotel, a shimmering bar and swimming pool. With classical soft music. It makes people feel relaxed. To be tossed by the night wind. But there's no denying that it's refreshing. Two people choose to sit at the bar. The bartender asked her what she wanted to drink. I thought for a moment about looking at the menu. Not knowing what to choose, the boy spoke up. Let's have 2 glasses. The bartender looks at you with a spooky smile. And then we start mixing. With beautiful skillful movements. A few minutes later, he put 2 glasses of wine on the bar. It is appropriate to express your heart. Best of all, a sip of salt. The sour taste of lemon and the taste of real wine makes you. People excited, but she remained silent and said nothing. Maybe I don't know where to start. Maybe not completely. Trust the person sitting next to you. The atmosphere is so strange. No one said anything to anyone. And the soft music still lingers in my ears. In fact, my father had an affair. The year I was in high school. Surprised to look at you. I don't know why. You share this story with me. That's a young girl just a few years older than me. When you know what I find ridiculous. My mother was also shocked when I heard that my father's lover was pregnant. She passed out. So until now, my mother is still mentally unstable. She doesn't remember much, or call my father's name and see me as a stranger. Your mother is in good health. Happy to ask. Well, my mother died. I didn't mean to. I don't know why, but your father. My dad, after running under mistress, he gave her a lot of property. But when I found out, she was just pretending to be pregnant, and realized that her approach was about money. My father regretted it, but he didn't have time for most of it. My father's estate is in her name. But the illegal papers are in my father's name. I can't believe he ended his own life. Never before. Sorry, Mom and I can't forgive him until now. Happy not to think, young man with this playful bright appearance. There's so much pain in me. Growing up in a family without my love. I don't blame him for raising his voice. Not being responsible for Mimi. And no blame. He gave you 2 sharp knives and it hurt so much. Guess your situation when arguing with your husband. She took a big sip as if to gain courage. Really shy, but my husband is having an affair. With my personal assistant. The laughter of virtue echoed bitterly. You don't even know you're laughing. Or crying. You talk to this guy. It's like grabbing a life raft. Because at least he's experienced it. The more you drink, the more you speak, the more you lose control. You ordered more wine. This wine is too light. Give me a heavier one. Which wine do the 7 lovers drink? Now I dare you to know, quiz you know. Why is my husband having an affair? But why would my assistant do that to me? How long have they been back and forth? A month or 2 months or a year? Please answer me. The man banged his hand on the shoulder and banged hard. They seemed to want to know the answer. She banged repeatedly, until the boy held her hand. Dim your eyes and answer me quietly. BA's counter was cluttered with empty glasses of almonds. She supported her chin. But every now and then he's slipping forward. You always keep your mouth shut. Not drunk, I just sat awake for a while. The boy looked at her and laughed. And in the afternoon she was an aggressive mother. The fur protects you. Now it's no different than a sleepy child. I helped her down the elevator. You rely on the British. Vaguely you see the smell of sparkling water. Mixed with yeast vapor, like the smell of a real man. What's this guy's name? What's my name? My name is Hi, do you hear me? Hi, take me back to your room. What room am I in? You used the last word. He searched all over me for a room card. Where is the room card? Where is your room card? You don't even remember where your room is. You still have to go to your room. I can't sleep in the hallway. Your eyes are closed when you open them. I see the ocean leading me to my room. It looks like my room, that's right. Color carpet hallway door white. This bed looks familiar. This man smells so good. She put her arms around his neck and he breathed this fragrance deeply. It smells so masculine. Hi took you to the bedroom. I was quite surprised to receive this attack. You had a drink and I had a drink. You have 2 drinks and I have 2 too. Yeast has also passed through social conversations. The moment she breathes the fragrance on your body. His soft nose and lips touch his neck. It's like releasing an electric current that numbs your mind. Your hands held her waist tight. Bend down, smell it in your hair, down your neck, up your lips. Put your hand on your shoulder. The response to that kiss was strong. They both fell into the soft bed. The body sinks together. Pushed up by the mattress, they feel every beat in their opponent's breath. In the warm night light, their hands in each other's hair. Glide over each other's bodies and knit together. Squeeze to choking. The first morning at the hotel. I woke up with a heavy head. The sun outside the window was beautiful and the sky was clear. You're getting ready to go to work. Suddenly there was a strange sound behind. It's a man's waiting shoulder. Slowly come back to the back. The boy woke up. My eyes also look at you. She pulled the blanket over her naked body. What's going on? Why are you here? Why do you ask me where you are, my daughter, where you are? You're in the room. What room do I know? You didn't say which room you were in. So which room is this? This is my room, sighing and looking for clothes to wear. I don't know why. You stutter like it's nothing. How do I get to my room now? Glad to look around. Hoping to find something. Do you remember which room you were in? I'm on the 20th floor, room 2 number 08. Hi, with the phone call reception. Bring room 2 number 08 to your room. I'm surprised you're the one who kept my room card. I am the owner of this hotel, so wait a minute. The staff will bring up the room card. You are the owner of this hotel. Happy surprise. Not, you said your father's property has been renamed Cho Kia. Just looking at me doesn't look like opening a hotel or SAO. Hai laughed lightly. Then the doorbell rings. Make happiness startle shoot me. She rushed to the bathroom for fear of being discovered. She peeked out. Hai Ra opened the door and got the room card. The employee's attitude was quite respectful. Maybe what you're saying is true. Hai closed. It was a pleasure to walk out when you received a card from Hai. Your hands touch me again. Suddenly she pulled back her hand quickly. Thanks, and hurry to the room. Door room 2 number 08 opened. Mimi got up and brushed her own face. Mimi showed off her mother and asked her where she was going. She just answered through the speakers. I woke up early and walked around. Give me breakfast and take me to school. Suddenly you don't want to go to work today. Partly because it's still a work holiday. Partly because I don't know how to deal with my assistant. She went back to the hotel room and laid down on the bed. She took the solar rails. Remember last night? Go out and buy some new clothes. To go to work this morning. And funny as SAO. I didn't have any new clothes this morning or go to work. And then memories of last night flashed through her head. Like a lightning. He was a strange man whom she had met only a few times. She looks younger than you. But what he's been through is not so little. A young man. Owned a 5 SAO hotel in the city. I have a lot of confidence in me. And an unhealed childhood. But why would you do that? Yesterday you found out your husband was having an affair with his own assistant. You're broken enough. But that night, you've done the same thing. She sat up in bed. They don't stop questioning themselves. Why do something like that? Not as you once thought. The story of her husband's affair. Part of the reason lies with you. The hotel phone rings in the room. You are in room 208, right? Yes, I'm the hotel receptionist. There's a note down here that says, give me a suitcase. Can you come down and get it yourself, or can I take it up to your room? I'll come down and get it later to help you. Yes, hello sister. It's the bar, she texted. I packed some of the stuff you brought over here. I called, but I didn't want to answer the phone. I texted sorry. I want you to come home and solve everything. She refused and said she was looking for a new home. When you move into a new house, you're going to clean up all your stuff. Though the stick 0D, but happiness still determined not to talk anymore. And insisted on finding a new home. What about divorce? You don't know if you should take that step. Or not just know that. Now you don't want to face anything. That's cowardly. But you haven't come up with a better solution. Later, I went down to the reception to get the stuff that my husband sent me. She signed at the confirmation desk at the front desk. Then behind her came a familiar voice. When she called her name, she turned back to Twee. She hid the shock mixed with 7 hopes in her eyes. She stared at the woman in front of her. It's a familiar face, but it's also strange. She remembered the handshake before. Twee was praised by colleagues. I remember eating at the office that night. Twee didn't hold back and ate the last piece of sashimi. And her strange smiling eyes. This is not a day 2. And it's probably not a coincidence. Happy and Happy sitting across from each other, in the plush cafe in front of the hotel lobby. You put a letter of resignation in front of you. Hands in front of the chest, grinned out a little. You came all the way here to give me your resignation. Does that make sense? I know what happened made you uncomfortable. I don't want everyone in the company to know this. I said you were here. You sound so intimate to me. Twee stroking her hair is still that cold to haughty. Why does she feel like she's going to overpower her? In some way. I know you're surprised. But actually, we've been around for a while. I didn't ask you that. From the first day you came to my house to get the documents. You were attracted to him. Do you understand what I'm talking about? Happy to close every word. I understand you don't want to hear, but we're not kids anymore to hide from. There are things you must know sooner or later. You are pregnant. Clear autumn weather. But she heard the sound of lightning flashing across her ears. The feeling of ringing in your ears makes you uncomfortable. The hands in front of my chest trembled. One hand on the table, one hand holding her head, breathing. Don't know what to say. She breathed out for an hour. He looked at the woman in front of him calmly. When I say it like it's something to be proud of. You're bragging about this to me. It's not like I'm kidding you for 2 hours. I think you need to know that the child in my womb, born in 8 months, I also need a father. You can keep going to work, but you resigned. It also means you'll need someone to raise and care for you. I know you and I love Mimi. It's not too much to give him a brother. Are you crazy? Standing up screaming the exact opposite. With Twee's calm demeanor. Afraid to look around. Some customers and employees have paid attention to them. Stay calm, don't be so childish. She grabbed a glass of water on the table and threw it straight at her face. Everyone around is still staring. Some people open their phones, take a picture. Some employees run out to clean up. But also hesitate in this situation. My hair is wet and my hair is 8. I'm still trying to pull the water droplets down on my face to open my eyes. You told me to be childish like this. You're not ashamed to hear that. That's what people say or animals say. Twee is still calm, smiling softly and getting some water. Now I also run to stop. She pushed him out and slapped him in pain. Bitch, she's pregnant. Look at what you do. I can't believe my ears. You two are going to do a play. Let me stay there and act. She turned away. Her husband is still stunned. And she was calm as she had predicted. Suddenly the VA has to high. The ocean holds you up and keeps you standing. I can see what's going on, he asked. Do you have any SAO? Suddenly he came back to stop High from touching his wife. The ocean also reacts quickly. His hand made him fall to the ground. Everybody is crying, but no one can. The hotel manager also came to ask. His director. Twee can't stay calm right now. Grabbing the bar. The moment she stood up. I want to blame the person who did this. What I was going to say suddenly couldn't be said. Twee and High 4 eyes at each other. No one believes in the appearance of the Kia. Why are you here? Hai squeezed into Thuy's arm. She turned her face the other way. Try to avoid the ocean's eyes. Like trying to hide something. You must have seen the wrong person. Why am I looking at the wrong person? Si fling Thuy Ra's arm. She deliberately turned her face the other way. He turned to the hotel manager. I'm confused about what to do. Call security and get these two out of the hotel. Especially this woman. Put her face in the forbidden system. Never enter the hotel. Hey. The hotel manager nodded, then hand out a signal to the guard. They dragged the bar and Thuy out of the hotel. The crowd also dispersed. Surprisingly silent for a long time. You know her. Hai nods to look at nothingness. But the eyes are like an invisible flame burning. Sure, there is a special relationship between you and your brother. I thank you for helping me solve this problem. I think we need to talk seriously. The steady words of the sea. It makes you feel like something else is about to happen. It's not okay. They walk out onto the green campus. In front of the hotel, the rustling sound of the leaves. The coolness of the wind. It's very different from the air that was stifling before. Seated and sat opposite on two benches. On two long roads, white pebbles for a while. Her heart is littered with patchy images. About your own relationship. The sea is deep. Think of your broken family. Light a cigarette. That happiness has never seen before. How does she have a relationship with you? My father's lover. The seaside with the smoke from the mouth flying out. My mouth is open for surprise. On a day where you've had too many shocks. Who made my mother very ill. Who cheated all my father's property and made him go away. It broke my family apart. Do I have to be alone in this world? Maybe I have a half-brother. But I don't know where it is. Thuy's child. I must be 6 years old now. I don't know. Put your hands up and hold your mouth. You can't believe what Hai has been through. I can't believe it either. You are a man without such morality. But apparently when she came into my company, the file doesn't mention children. Doubt looks happy. She never mentioned any children either. Even the CA days are hard all weekend. She never took a break. Are you serious? Because she never quit. So we also believe that. She's never married. Never had children. If you have children, at least a few times a year, the flu season. So she lied about the pregnancy to my father. Just to seize property. Maybe this time my husband is lying. And she just wants to take our property. The two quietly looked at each other. It's unexpected. She used too many tricks. Playing on the pain. And the breakup of other families. I can't let her go on like this. Hai decided. Happiness is not subject to such results, but doubted myself and didn't know what to do. Next, your family's in a mess. They looked at each other without saying anything. Hai clenched his hand and punched down the bench. I'll find a way to prove she's lying. As well as finding evidence that she took advantage of my father to transfer illegal property. Don't rush to divorce. This would be detrimental to property and custody. First, look for evidence that proves he is having an affair. Those who are wrong are not moral enough to be weaker. In court, you have a better chance of winning. Hearing the word adultery makes happiness tight lips. If you say your husband has an affair, it's wrong. What was it last night with Hai? She silently bowed her head on the opposite side. I am seriously thinking and make a plan for you. But you can't focus. You don't know, should I take the path of revenge on my husband? Or not, because you're not qualified. You stand up. You don't have to plan for me. I know myself what to do. Don't see each other again from now on. She walked in the amazement of the sea. I don't understand why you are so shy. I dare not protect your happiness. And my own. Monday morning at the hotel. You decided to go to the company. After taking you to school. Hurry to the office. Everyone greets you warmly. I also wonder if I can't see Twee going to work anymore. I heard it but just ignored it. Click on the job posting assistant position to replace Twee. In the afternoon, she goes to work. Invite everyone to afternoon tea. Then comes in from the bar with a coffee cart. Everybody applauded. Don't forget to praise your generous husband. They care about taking care of people. Looking at my husband is being praised with a cold face. You walk into your own office. Soon after, her husband walked in. The bar closed and suddenly knelt down, low voice. I'm sorry, but even if you forgive me, Twee is also pregnant. I look back at you with contempt. You can't leave her. You mean divorce, right? Accepted by me. No, I don't mean that. Please accept her. You don't find what you're saying funny. You are so greedy and selfish. Have you ever thought about my feelings and yours? I know I was wrong. I have no intention of taking her home. But she needs to be taken care of. I want to buy her a subsidized house for her. And I'll only be there 1 day a week. He stopped and put his head against his desk. Don't say any more. You're pregnant as my assistant. I'm going to paint a happy home future for me. 2. The door to her office suddenly opened. Is the president and the SEO director are discussing the project. I said something about being pregnant with my husband. The SEO director asked. Suddenly the whole office closed the door. Happy and surprised husband. Shame not knowing what to say. To deny or explain to superiors and colleagues. Get up and walk out of the office. In the eyes of the judges. I turned my back and looked out the window. Hide the tears that roll down. I didn't ask the president to encourage you. Deal with personal matters, sober up, don't let it affect the work. And left with the SEO director. Room door closed, give her a quiet space. She was crying until she had just washed Mimi. She's getting dressed and she's choosing a hairstyle. She sat down for her hair, and Mimi suddenly said, Mom, have you ever been so boring to pick me up here? My mom took me out for pizza.
Yeah.
But are you going to eat with me? No, I'm very busy, so let's eat. Good pizza, I like cheese. Your phone suddenly rings. A voicemail message. Her husband said he bought an apartment for Twee. And with an apology. She sighed, but Hai's words suddenly appeared in her mind. Is that Thai real? Twee conspired with the property of her husband and wife. What do you do now? Mom, let's eat. Happy startled awake. She adjusted her state and took her to eat. The restaurant's warm lights. It makes the food look better than usual. Your eyes sparkled with joy. She took a bite of a pizza full of cheese. And start showing spinning. Mom and son laughing happily. It's been a long time. I had such a full evening with you. The two laughed and walked to the room. The door had just closed, and there was a continuous banging. You opened the door. He was sweating as if he had rushed here. Mimi shouted at a sea. Is it fun to go out? Take me out for ice cream today. My grin is grinning. Tell them to go to their room and get ready for bed. I dragged Hai out into the hallway to talk. I told you not to see each other again. I took a picture of Tui. I went to the hospital to buy the results. She's not pregnant. I just pulled out my phone and showed you a picture. Have you found evidence that your husband is having an affair? But unsuspecting misfortune lies. I have no need to prove it. Why do you keep doing things I didn't ask you to do? What are you doing? Do you want to steal everything from me? You can divorce, but do you think about your property and your custody? I never thought about it. You think I'm not sad? I don't want rights for my child. I've lost my soul these past few days. I also want to avenge my husband. I want to never see him again. But do you remember what we did that night? Unhappy to talk and shake. She tried to keep her voice down and not cry. What do you think of me? Am I any different from him? Now you want me to find evidence of his adultery, when I'm no different myself. Tears rolled out of the corners of her eyes. Thumb clasped to index finger to bleed. But you don't feel any pain. You are sad because your family is broken. Impotence at work. Also confused. I don't know what to do to pull myself up. Have you thought about Mimi? Maybe your family is no longer healthy, but her future is still there. Or do you want her to be in the same situation as me? You know what you think. You're noble. You think you love her more than I do. You think I'm selfish just thinking about myself. I don't care about her. You call yourself the AI that helps me. Hai hugged her comforting and gently rubbed her head. In this moment of weakness, you have no strength to resist. Just sobbing. Tears don't stop falling. I'm nothing, but I love Mimi. And I love you too. You gradually stop sobbing, but still quietly in the arms of the sea. You feel a little bit of faith now. At least there's a base. So you know what you're going to do next. 2 days later, I decided to go to the hotel to talk. Obviously, the divorce has been filed. You don't expect to get more property. I just wish I could get a good divorce. It is also to tell the story of Tui. Sit down in front of you. I just saw your divorce papers. No, I don't want this. You already know your fault. I just want Mimi to have a full family. The love of mom and dad, but you can't leave the child with Tui either. Slowly you hear me. I won't talk about what you did. Even if it's AI's fault, it's already happened. But it also proves that our marriage has too many cracks. There is no common voice. If we continue, we will not benefit. Who knows what will happen in the future? No, I promise. Even if you promise, I'm not sure I'll be happy either. As I continue to live with you, this is a divorce. The next thing is property statistics. The house you bought Cho Tui is our common money. Did you pay all the money and get the paperwork? Don't worry about that. Your name is still in your name, not your name. Procedures need to be done today. I gave Tui her autograph number to work. What, did you give her a digital signature? I was stunned by the harshness of happiness. You haven't even registered your marriage to Tui, but why did you give that important thing to her? Have you known her long enough to know her? I mean, why? I mean, she cheated on you. No, she's pregnant with your baby. You think it's real that she's pregnant? The day before I took her to the doctor, I was tricked by her and Hai came over and handed the phone out. It's a picture. Stealthily giving money to the doctor to fake. What are you? Who are you to say that? Surprise bar rolling its eyes. 5 years ago, she was also my father's lover. And used the same way. To take over my family's property. For being so infatuated and trusting her, my father let her do it herself. When she said she was pregnant, by the time you know, it's too late. All properties have been named for her. It was also with my family's company seal back then. I think she has real feelings. And give birth to you. It's amazing. I don't believe what I hear. He hugged his head and called Twee on the phone. Ask her where she is to find her. Before going to remind. Maybe she secretly sold your property. But I'll still be by your side. To create trust. Be careful to protect your property. Us and Mimi's. I'll file for divorce and wait for the court's decision. Beautiful divorce. It's the best choice we have for you. Bar collapse staggers away. I don't know what you've lost. But here, maybe it's been a valuable lesson in your life. A reminder of virtue is the ultimate kindness. That you are for me. Put your hand on your shoulder. You've been strong. She took him back to his old house to pack up. My mother and I talked about a lot of old things. Every corner of this house. They all contain their joy and their sadness. You asked me why I need to pack. My parents let me travel. Please touch your head and the door is opened. Mimi ran out and hugged him because she hadn't seen him in days. Hugged me and my face couldn't hide its sadness. My love for you is not small. That night the little family had a cozy meal. Happy to explain to you. Understand the current situation. Mom and Dad will be friends. Just not in the same house anymore. If you want to be with your dad or with your mom. She also has a vague understanding of the family being separated. Straw with tears. If you are good at school, you can stay with me. Right? If you study well, growing up, you will understand that my parents always loved me. My wife also understands. She asked to take a family photo. Capture the moment before this separation. There are feelings that are hard to say, but in that moment, they really appreciate each other's presence. I still know that my parents will always be there for me. With you grown up. The feeling of the meal that day. I'll never see you again. A year after an autumn weekend. To take Mimi out on a fairy tale ride. She's taller and likes to dance. Wearing a pretty pink dress. The rabbit just asked me to buy it. Every swing that goes by. Mimi waved to her mother standing outside. Smile reveals one small milk tooth. The children finished playing the fairy tale wheel. We're all given a rainbow candy. Mimi ran to her mother who was waiting proudly to show off her candy. Mom, I gave you a rainbow candy. Yes, but I don't like candy. I gave Mimi back. But can I ask you for one more wish? I wish I could eat ice cream. I laughed at her stupidity. Here's the ice cream cone. From the back of happiness, Hai held out 3 towering ice cream cones. Mimi applauded with appreciation. My little feet jumped up for the ice cream. Hai, sit down. Mimi smelled herself on his cheek as a thank you. Uncle Hai asked me a question. If you answer correctly, I'll give you one more wish. Really? The real question is, what are you eating now? Mimi thought for a moment. Seems to be choosing one of the many delicious dishes. Korean fried chicken. Wow, why do you know that I've lost a wish? You guess well. So now we're going to have fried chicken. Hold my heart up. 3 people walk out of the play area. Ferry wheel. Oh my God, my wish. Yes, my wish. I wish I had a brother to play with. What can you do alone? The cool wind of autumn blows through. They keep talking all the way. Leaves fall in the wind. Their shadows fade away. Ladies and gentlemen of the audience, please close the story here. Thank you for listening. Hello,
Goodbye.
and see you in the next story.